Before we get into today's NFL mailbag, this is your chance to rep your team. Shout out your favorite NFL team so we don't get a bunch of weird soccer questions in the comments of today's show. Let's see which fan base is showing up the most on today's video. From True Allure, what is the trade value for Brandon Aiyuk? It's a good question. Coming off the injury with the contract, I'll pull up the nitty-gritty numbers here. I'm not terribly sure what he'd command. The thing that I keep reminding myself of is the DeForest Buckner trade, where they flipped him for a first-round pick and then spent a first-round pick on Javon Kinlaw. The Niners eat like $18.4 million on a fairly cheap $11 million cap hit. I'm looking at what the new team would owe, and it's really just, it's not a lot of money. And the option bonus is $22.855, and my suspicion is that the new team would actually pay the majority of that. But even then, you're looking at $23 million this year, $24 million next year. The way that contract is actually, as I look at it more in depth, the way it's actually designed, it's not that prohibitive to moving on from Aiyuk if you wanted to long term. You're just kind of eating a giant chunk of the signing bonus with the way that the deal was structured there. So it's affordable. It's a question if you trust him coming off the injury. If I were the Niners, I would not consider trading him unless I got a first-round pick back. It's up to NFL teams supposed to listen to all offers. But I'm not seriously trying to pursue an offseason, which I've moved on from a lot of talent and let them go. That's all fine. I'm not seriously considering a receiving core led by Ricky Parasol, Juwan Jennings, and Jacob Cowling in year one of what could be a long Brock Purdy extension. That's not feasible to me. Also from Ryan, we'll stick with the Brandon Aiyuk conversation here. Will the Niners trade him? My gut says no. My gut says they will not move on from Aiyuk. They'll get him back. They could always revisit the conversation next year, although the contract is still a little bit of a question mark with the way it's set up. But you just paid him. He's been really good. I know that last year was kind of a mess across the board. The Niners, to me, are coming off we're being much more deliberately cost conscientious instead of saying cheap. I have doubts that they would actually trade him. But what do you think? Good job on the Flystone. Will the Niners actually trade Brandon Aiyuk? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Will the Niners actually move on from their number one receiver? If the ad comes on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. From Mike Nintendo Master, why is it such a big deal about where Aaron Rodgers will sign? The reason is because two NFL teams badly want him. The Steelers and the Giants are very clearly waiting on a decision. Now, you might not like that, and I actually get that to a decent extent because it's Rodgers and he's shown signs of decline, etc. But both of those teams they want him, and they're waiting. And wherever Rodgers doesn't go, that'll free up Russell Wilson. So it is a big deal, not because we think Rodgers is still Hall of Fame Rodgers, but he's probably still a fringe top 20 QB. That's better than a lot of QBs out there. And in theory, it will also lead to a big-time, domino effect of other quarterbacks finding new destinations. Zaire Brown, if I'm Dallas, put together a trade package for a third or fourth round pick, Tolbert, Deuce, and Clark on the block for a 3 or 4, possibly sign Lockett. As of filming, no decision on Tyler Lockett. I think that makes sense if they want a more viable number 2 short-term option. Sure, trading Tolbert and Deuce and Damone Clark are great, but I don't think anyone's going to move a 3 or a 4 for those guys. I think Damone Clark is a prime cut candidate when we get to the offseason. Maybe you get lucky and someone sends you a late day 3 pick for him. And I don't think Deuce Vaughn has any real trade value. Tolbert might, but I think we're talking like a 5th or a 6th, not a 3 or a 4 there. Today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. It is the best place to get real money sports action, especially with March. And the madness of it is underway. You can get in on the action with Prize Picks. Over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more, or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. It's not just basketball. It's not just football. You can get in on baseball as well with some Prize Picks action. Season-long ones. Then we'll get to some, game-by-game Prize Picks slates once opening day arrives. Here's one of the ones that our MLB guy, Jack Lottery, cooked up there. I'm just going to trust him. I do the flex play. That way, if I get one wrong, I still cash out. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play that first $5 lineup. Marcus Arnold, Tom, I'm scared. Please tell me Mingo isn't wide receiver 2. I will make note. That's not their plan. Tolbert is by far a better option right now for the Cowboys than Jonathan Mingo. That's not to say it's a good enough option. I would be surprised if they didn't go after another option in terms of adding a receiver 2 in the draft, most likely. So I don't think that their plan is Mingo to be receiver 2. And if that does happen, it might be because Mingo really, really plays well. From Andy, Bills Mafia, I'm not going to butcher your last name there, Andy. Have the Bills dominated NFL free agency so far? To recap, Joey Bosa, Josh Palmer, Larry Ogunjobi, Michael Hoyt, Kendrick Green, Darrington Evans, Laviska Shenault. The Josh Allen extension and Gregory Rousseau and Khalil Shakir, I think, were actually probably pretty good moves. They got something, if not really good moves, got something for Khair Elam. I like the Bosa move. Josh Palmer, I think, fits pretty well in that wide receiving core long term. The Larry Ogunjobi PED suspension that they didn't know about doesn't look great, but they'll figure things out there. I don't know if dominated is the right word, but I think there's plenty of optimism and reasons to be excited about what the Bills have done. Plus, we already know they're pretty damn close. From Jordan, will the Patriots find a taker for Joe Milton? I have doubts about the interest in Joe Milton. Like, I get he had a great final regular season game. Did anyone watch him in the preseason? He completed like 30% of his passes. It's not good. He also was like kind of that guy at Tennessee. He'd have a great game and a terrible game. Like, just like terrible type of results. Great, bad. It's a bad quarterback class, so I wouldn't be shocked if somebody had interest. I think the report was that they wanted a third rounder. You trade a third, you think he's your guy? I don't think he's anybody's guy. It's not how I vowed him coming out of Tennessee. Having a Matt Flynn 2.0 game doesn't really move the needle that much for me. So what draft pick is Joe Milton worth? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. And if Patriots fans want to hype things up, sure, go for it. Luis Ortiz, is there a limit on how many can be invited to camp and OTAs? So roster-wise, you get 90 players. Now, you can do like rookie invites and rookie minicamp invites if only to like kind of, be able to get through practices. Like you often see like quarterbacks get invited. If a team does not have a quarterback at the rookie minicamp, they're going to invite somebody. And they'll invite some other minor guys that sometimes end up making the team too. But there is the 90-man roster limit. Now, do you love the NFL? Hit that sub button. If you do, we will have more videos for you each and every single day here on the channel. More hosts, more videos. Don't miss out. Subscribe right now. Flash feedback. What's more probable? Sanders being taken in the top 3 or falling out of the top 3? This is a great question. So I would say the least likely is that he actually goes between 4 and 19 to kind of answer the question, because my gut still tells me if Titans go Cam Ward at 1, the Browns local reporters all make it sound like they're going to take a QB. So I would lean towards Shedeur going 2. But if Shedeur doesn't go 2, and if he doesn't then go 3 to the Giants, I would fully expect him to fall down to like Pittsburgh at 21. So I think there's kind of like reverse bell curve of like high probability going 2 or 3, and then If he gets past 3, he ain't going for a while probably. And maybe a team trades up, but I think it's kind of like in the Kenny Pickett draft range. So I lean late towards top 3, then outside the top 20, and then like very small chance of 5 to 20, if that makes sense. Ronaldo, will the Falcons still trade Kirk Cousins? I think that they would like to. I don't believe that they are like, yeah, we're fine paying $30 whatever million to a backup QB. I think they would love to find a trade partner. And they probably have to eat a lot of the money to do that, though. And maybe they do. But with the way the quarterback market's kind of played out a little bit here, I don't know where the great destination is. I thought the Browns could be a great fit if he got cut. And it almost kind of sounds like the Browns had planned to bring in Kirk Cousins if he got cut. And they kind of realized that wasn't happening. And they ended up pivoting to Kenny Pickett, who's also bad. So I don't know what happens to Kirk Cousins. I'm not closing the door, though, on that front. I want you to name a player who you think ends up getting traded. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Bonus points in whose line style, they don't really matter if you end up getting it right on who that player ends up being. Godmod says Derek Carr to the Giants. I think the Saints' decision to restructure Carr's contract, again, means they're not going to move on from him. Again, I kind of want to see the Saints fully rebuild. I think Derek Carr would be an upgrade over some of the other viable options out there for a team like the Giants, but it seems like that one's kind of run its course. LaCour Victor, could New England sign Stephon Diggs and draft T-Mac in the draft? And could Drake May break out in 2025 and beyond? I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think all the young QBs who got real playing time this past year, there's a lot of reasons to be like, yeah, we're super excited about this guy. The stuff I saw from Drake May behind a really bad offensive line, I am very encouraged by. I liked him a lot coming out of North Carolina. I think there's a lot of reasons to be excited about him as they move forward. He ain't ever going to be Brady, but he can still be a damn good NFL QB. Diggs and T-Mac, possible. I don't know how much interest there is league-wide in Stephon Diggs. He might have to wait till after the draft, too. I don't know if T-Mac goes top 5. If in really top 6. Top 6 maybe to the Raiders, but they might take Ashton Genty in the end. But T-Mac at 4, I would not be mad at it, and gets the Patriots a real, true number 1 receiver. They also might be able to get Hunter or Abdul Carter, which would be a no-brainer for them.